This is where we left off, looking at the solution to doing this logic table. One of the things I like to do is to do the not columns first. So I'm going to fill this column in, where we do the opposite condition. So I'm going to just kind of squeeze in here a not A, which is the opposite condition of A. So the 1 becomes a 0, the 1 becomes a 0, the 0 becomes a 1, the 0 becomes a 1. I'm going to do the same thing for not B. The 1 becomes a 0, 1, 0, 1. So now I want the condition when these two are not the same. So I want this to be true if not A is not equal to not B. So these two things are the same, therefore it's false. These two things are not the same, therefore it's true. These two things are not the same, therefore it's true. These two things are the same, therefore it's false. So that just gives you an idea of how to go through a logic table. You're just flipping zeros and ones, evaluating the condition that is given to you. Okay, your turn. Pause the video, give this a try to fill in this chart, and then we'll play the video and go through the answer. So we want to first do a not A column. So here's our not A. Opposite conditions. Now I want to do my OR. I only need one of them to be true for the OR to be true. So in this case, I have a B as a 1, which means this is true. In this case, they're both false. In the second case, they're both false. So I got a 0. In the third case, they're both true. I only need one to be true. So that's true. And in the last case, the not A is true. So that is the truth table for that. You should have 1, 0, 0, 1 for that solution. Sometimes this one right here gets people a little confused because they're both true. There actually is a special OR called an XOR that will not be true if both conditions are true. It's literally has to be one or the other, but not both. And in the English language, sometimes that's what we really mean. When we say this or that, but not both. You can either be, pardon me, in the store or out of the store. You can't be both. You can be in the car, you can be out of the car. You can't be both. So sometimes this statement here, where we have two things being true, making the OR statement true, is confusing. The reason it's confusing is because in the English language, we often use the XOR, not the OR. The XOR is one or the other, not both. In this case, we're talking about just a simple OR, which is any time you have a true statement, in either one, whether it's both or not, the statement is true. And that's going to be important later when we start talking about short circuit evaluations. Oh. All right, here's another one. Yes, I tried to make it difficult. Give it a try, pause the video, and then we'll go over the answer. The first thing I did is we do the 1, 1, 0, 0, and we do 1, 0, 1, 0. You might have a slightly different pattern. You could have done 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. So when we talk about our final answers, we always kind of talk about it going straight across. So when we present the final answer, you want to look at what's the value of A, what's the value of B, what's the final value. It might be in a slightly different spot in your table than I have here. And that's okay. So the first thing I did is not B, but then I also added in a column for myself. So that way I could do this part separately from the whole condition. So that way when I do the OR, which is the AND with the NOT, I have a column and another column to compare it to, rather than having to kind of do it all at one time. So my not B is really just the flip-flop of B. 0, 1, 0, 1. Oops, too far. So now I want to do my A and B. So when A and B are both true, that's when this is going to be true. So our first column, A is true, B is true. That means A and B are both true. So that's there. The second one, A is true, B is false. That means that's false. The next column, A is true. A is false, B is true. So that's false. And the last one, they're both false. So that's false. So there should only be some order. You should have a 1 and 3 zeros. You might have a slightly different order, but you should have a 1 and 3 zeros. We're going to do the OR with the blue column here and this red column here. The not B. We only need one of these to be true. So this is false, but this is true, which means the whole result is true. This is true. Technically, I don't even need to look at the other one. It's true. I don't need to check the other one. This is false. This is false. So this is false. And then finally, this is true. Again, I don't need to check the other one. I just need one of them to be true. I don't even need to look at the other one. So this is true. So your final answer should be 3 trues and 1 false. The 1 false occurring when both A and B are false. No, I'm looking at the A is false and B is false. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. My fault. You're right. A is false and B is true gives me the false. Yeah, got it. So you should be able to do the exit ticket now and then the practice assignment in logic truth tables.